Hello everybody, it's Matt Deer from Neurodeervergent, and today we're talking about empathy. So I know that there have been a lot of videos about empathy and a lot of blog posts about empathy and a lot of websites about what empathy is, but look at this Pikachu! And I just wanted to make a quick video sort of summarizing these things and putting it sort of simply so people understand it better. First of all, to begin with, there's this huge stereotype that autistic people are unable to feel empathy, which is a really vague statement if you know that empathy is not just one thing. It's not an emotion per se. It's not like an ability in a way. It's not like a superpower that all autistics have. And also, a lack of empathy is more what used to be associated with sociopaths, and which is also not an accurate term anymore. So I'm not gonna touch on that anymore, any more than that. Okay, first of all, generally empathy is understood as the ability to understand and understand other people's feelings, to recognize them, and to sort of what's the word? I don't know. To recognize and understand other people's feelings. Okay, there's three types of empathy. The first one being cognitive empathy, which basically means recognizing other people's emotions, mainly without them telling you explicitly. So, which is probably the biggest thing for people with autism, is to realize, recognize other people's feelings, because we struggle a lot with non-verbal communication. We struggle a lot with body language. We struggle with reading facial expressions. So very often, if we're not told explicitly, we will not know if another person is feeling, I don't know, distressed or really happy unless they're obviously showing it. And I think this is the sort of empathy that is mostly associated with autistic people, because it's probably the one that we struggle most with. Type number 2 is called emotional or cognitive. No. Emotional or affective empathy, which basically means you feel what the other person feels. Let's say a person you know is happy and you get also happy, or a person is sad and you also feel sad because they're sad. And I think technically it has to do with neurons mirroring other people. But anyway, that's I think affective empathy is something that autistic people almost struggle with very often, because a lot of us are actually hyper empathetic, which means that we experience this thing very intensely. It basically we secondhand embarrassment and stuff like that, and it's 10 times worse than that. Very often we struggle with watching news or anything that has anything that harms other people. We feel very often we have very strong feelings about that, and because we feel with them. And for example, I struggle very much with watching dramatic stuff. I loved watching Hannibal, but it was so draining to me, and it was really bad for me. And after every few episodes that I watched, I sort of had a bit of a meltdown, because it was so overwhelming emotionally and psychologically. So type number 3 is, I keep forgetting it. It's compassionate empathy, which basically means the way that you react to other people's emotions and other people's behavior. If someone if you love is sad, your first reaction is oh, I want to help them, which is basically what you call sympathy or compassion, and this is called compassionate empathy. And this is something. Sorry, this tail is just beautiful. This is something I think a lot autistic people also struggle with, but very often it's in the way that we, first of all, don't know how to express it. We don't express our concern because we struggle with talking. Second of all, we just don't know what we are supposed to do. And this is why a lot of us rely on scripting in this situation. Like, scripting is when you sort of have like words in your mind and you sort of rehearse them for like a situation where you might need them. So in these situations where we need to take action, very much a lot of the things that we do is just imitating other people. Anyway, to recap, there's multiple types of empathy, and basically anybody can be hypo, which means below average, and hyper, which means above average, empathetic in any of these three types of empathy. For autistic people, the stereotype of not having any empathy is not really true. However, a lot of autistic people struggle with being empathetic towards other people because we struggle with social cues and reading body language as well as facial expressions. And no, low empathy does not mean anybody is a bad person or a monster, because that is terrible. It is a terrible way of thinking. Please don't think so. And having low empathy doesn't make it. It really doesn't make you a bad person. It is how it is. And if you have too much empathy, take care of yourself, because it's very important. It's very important to take care after you get really drained. So please, just take care, everyone. And I hope this video was in a way informative, because if not, well, what you gonna do? Anyway, red instead. Red instead. Yeah. I hope I see you guys soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.